Rams to the Bears and the Saints. Green Bay with a record of 1-3 coming off the 31-9 loss in Philadelphia on Monday night. First-year head coach Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy was Jim Haslett's offensive coordinator in New Orleans for a number of years. Came back here for a second time to be the head coach, quarterback coach here back in 1999. Scott Linehan, first-year head coach, offensive coordinator in Minnesota for 3 years, and then a year with Miami last season.
The Packers have won the toss. On the left, Ruvel Martin. On the right, Corin Robinson. Back to receive the opening kickoff. Jeff Wilkins will get things started. The Rams have won 2 in a row, 3 of 4. Beat the Lions last Sunday, 41-34. And we are underway in Green Bay. From the goal line, Corin Robinson takes it out for the Packers. Ball came loose. And it's recovered by the Packers. 21-yard return. Brett Favre starting his final game as a 36-year-old. He turns 37 on Tuesday.
We were here last year when Brett Favre was getting ready to turn 36. They were 0-4, and the New Orleans Saints came to town, and he had a birthday celebration to remember. They put up 52 points that day in beating the Saints 52-3.
Without Ahman Green, Vernon Morency makes the start at running back for the Packers. Green Bay starting from their own 23-yard line. Off the play fake to Morency. Favre hits Morency. And the former Houston Texan acquired last month, gaining 5 yards out to the 28, setting up second down and 5. A pair of rookie guards starting for the Packers, Darren College and Jason Spitz.
Second and 5 from the 28.
Some question during the week as to whether or not Donald Driver would play. And Driver is in the starting lineup along with the rookie out of Western Michigan, Greg Jennings. Second down and 5. Long count. Favre back to throw on second down. Again hits Morency. And Vernon Morency brought down about a yard shy of the marker by Corey Chavis and Brandon Chiller. Leonard Little with 3 sacks the first 4 games for the Rams. Glover, the 6-time Pro Bowler, former Raiders, Saint, and Cowboy. Witherspoon came over as a free agent from Carolina, and Ty Hill starting at corner for the injured Fakir Brown. Third down and 1. Morency. And Vernon Morency picks up the first down. 2 catches and now a run on the opening drive for Morency.
You know, Kenny, we've been coming here to do Packer games for years, and you'd see William Henderson in the backfield with Ahman Green, and it's all changing now. I mean, Brandon Myree and Vernon Morency, they weren't here to start training camp this year. And you throw in Corin Robinson at wide receiver now, and so it's changing on the fly here. It's changing since it started the season, and this is what they're going with. A lot of youth, a lot of new players right now, and Brett's the only guy that's the constant right now.
From the 35 again, it is Morency. 4 touches the first 4 plays. Morency lost the football, and the Rams have recovered.
Of course, he fumbled one last Monday night that led to the Eagles' first score. Took his eyes off the ball last week. We'll see what happened to him this week. Oh, yeah. That ball just got poked out as he was going down. Mike McCarthy will see if there's a chance here that maybe he was down, but no. Legs aren't on the ground. Rams are huddled up. They're all at the line of scrimmage ready to go. They want to get the play off before there is a review.
Steven Jackson cuts to the outside on first down and gains 2. A look at Rams quarterback Mark Bulger, who has not thrown an interception this season over the first 4 games. 5 touchdown passes for the 6th-year quarterback out of West Virginia. Second down and 8. Rams looking to capitalize on the early turnover by the Packers. Play action. Bulger can't find anyone. He takes off. It's his first run for positive yardage this season in 5 games. And he picks up a Rams first down, a gain of 11 by Bulger.
First down.
The men protecting Bulger, Timmerman, the former Packer, started 2 Super Bowls for Green Bay. Backs and receivers, Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce, both went over 100 yards last week against the Lions. First and 10 from the Packers 23. Steven Jackson, not much. Gain of just 1. As we check out the Packers defensive unit, ranked 31st in the league. Ryan Pickett spent the last 5 years as a member of the St. Louis Rams. A.J. Hawk, the first-round draft pick, 5th overall out of Ohio State. And the big story in Green Bay this week, the release on Tuesday of quarterback Ahmad Carroll. 4 receivers set, Jackson the lone back. Second down and 9. The handoff to Jackson. And he found a hole up the middle. Works his way down to the 16-yard line. So a 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Rams.
Kenny, the most important statistic in football, outside of wins and losses, is turnovers. The Rams came into today leading the league in turnover ratio. They're positive 10. They've fumbled the ball 3 times this year. They've created 13 turnovers. The Packers aren't good. Already today, that statistic is holding up. That fumble by Morency, and here the Rams on 3rd down knocking on the Packers' door.
Brandon Chiller knocked the ball loose from Vernon Morency. 3rd down and 3. Everybody out. Kevin Curtis has a first down. Forced out of bounds inside the Green Bay 7-yard line.
Let me tell you a statistic about Mark Bulger that defines this guy in his career here with the Rams. He's never had a game in 5 years of starting that he threw for under 50% completion.
Wow.
That last throw to Kevin Curtis, right on the money. This guy he's laser sharp, throws the ball with incredible anticipation, and then he's maybe as accurate a quarterback as there is in the league.
First and goal for Bulger and the Rams from the 6. Looking end zone, he throws. Torrey Holt makes the catch for the touchdown.
That's an example. That was great coverage by Al Howers on Torrey Holt there, and he threw it where Al Howers couldn't get the ball. High and away from the defender. Let Torrey Holt go up and get it.
Charles Woodson is shaken up, the Packers' left cornerback, as we take one more look at the touchdown pass.
He throws it to a spot and allows his receiver to go get it. Packers like to play press man-to-man coverage, get sticky on the receivers, but that's an example of a great throw and route beating the coverage.
6th touchdown pass of the season for Bulger. 4th trip to the end zone for Torrey Holt. Well, Brett Favre will turn 37 on Tuesday. Packers won the toss. Morency fumbled on the 4th play, and the Rams turned it into 7. Assuming Wilkins connects on the extra point, he does. His 317th in a row. So the St. Louis Rams, just over 5 minutes into this first quarter, lead the Green.
Hey, you're his main
That's
receiver.
Torrey Holt signing autographs before the game here at Lambeau Field after a morning workout. Just a great personality, great kid, and a phenomenal player.
Corin Robinson takes a knee. So the Packers will start from their own 20-yard line. Packers quarterback Charles Woodson injured on the last play.
Well, they're already so banged up in the secondary. I mean, Ahmad Carroll was released this week.
First and 10, ball at the 20.
Here's the hit. It's Marquand Manuel right here. gets hit right on the inside of that knee. That's what they were examining during that last timeout. It's good to see Charles just kind of trying to run that thing off on the sideline now.
So now Favre in the offense will start from the 20. 4 plays, 4 touches by Morency on the opening drive, and here is Morency again. Good second effort, and he gains 7.
Well, they like Vernon Morency. They think he's got great quickness. They think he's a good fit for this offense. He catches the ball well. You can't turn the ball over. And, you know, I mean, there was a time here when Ahman Green would lead the league in fumbles, and he kind of got that problem corrected. They lived with a lot of bad fumbles from him. 2 weeks in a row, Vernon Morency lays the ball on the ground, and Brett Favre said, we have to play a perfect game to give ourselves a chance to win.
Second down and 3. Morency again, and this time he's wrapped up in the backfield by Jimmy Kennedy. A loss of 2 yards on the play.
Well, what you get from Green Bay on both sides of the ball right now is tremendous inconsistency. They can pick up 7 yards on first down and then miss a backside cutoff block there to Jimmy Kennedy and lose yardage and put themselves in a longer third down play. You see them playing well at times. They just can't consistently do it. And Jim Haslett, former head coach of the Saints, has done a good job here molding a lot of new faces in this defense.
Third down and 5. Packers have to get to the 30. 3 wide receivers. Favre out of the shotgun. Favre on third down, and the catch is made for a first down by the tight end, Bubba Franks. His first catch today, a gain of 7.
Well, this is the offense of Green Bay right now. I mean, it's back to kind of dink and dunk. Brett has to get rid of the ball quickly. I think we'll see him roll out a lot today, bootlegs, get outside the pocket, because New Orleans they do like the blitz. In fact, the Saints blitz 48% of the time. So, you know, the Rams right now, I mean, that's what they do. So they want to move Brett a lot today.
Favre has connected on his first 3 pass attempts. Make it 4 for 4. It's Franks again. And he's cut down at the 41-yard line by Travis Fisher after a gain of 9, just a yard shy of another Green Bay first down.
Well, that's the bootleg I'm talking about. The quarterback keeper, get Brett out onto the perimeter, into the open field. That's all part of the offense, is hand off, stretch it one way with the run, then pull it out on the fake and bootleg it the other way. Make the Rams defend the full width of the field.
Second down and 1. Myrie and Morency in the backfield. Donald Driver in motion. Morency with Myrie leading the way. And Vernon Morency picks up 8 Packers first down out to the 43-yard line before he was tackled by Jason Fisk.
The reason why this is the new backfield, Brandon Myrie filling in now for William Henderson at fullback, a long staple here for a long time, is the fact that Brandon Myrie came from Denver, where they run this system of offense. There, that ball comes out again. You know, I mean, that's something that you got to learn how to do in this league, because if you keep putting the ball on the ground, you simply will not be in the game. You'll find another guy to go in there.
And Noah Herron checks in, replacing Morency in the backfield. First and 10 from the 43. Off the play fake, Favre steps up and throws, intended for Donald Driver. Good coverage by Travis Fisher. Got a piece of it.
That ball came out of Brett's hands funny. It wobbled out of there. I don't know if he got hit as he threw the football. Donald Driver here just going to run a crossing route, working on Travis Fisher. They don't have great speed at wide receiver, and so they have a hard time getting the ball down the field. I think Brett's arm got hit a little bit there and made that ball wobble.
Herron remains in the backfield. 3 wide receivers set on second and 10. Inside handoff to Herron. And he takes it out to the 49-yard line for a gain of 6. Herron in his second season out of Northwestern. He has also had trouble hanging on to the football. He's lost 2 fumbles over the first 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Brett said that we have to play a perfect game in order to be competitive. We're not good enough to overcome mistakes. And so, I mean, that's something that you have to enforce with these guys every play. Wrap the ball up in traffic, cover it up, 7 points of pressure. I mean, the fundamentals of the game, they've got to do a better job.
They're down in 4. Packers have to get to the Rams 47. From the shotgun on 3rd down. Favre rolling right. Now he throws and the catch is made for a first down by Koren Robinson, his 4th reception of the season. A gain of 7, and the Packers are now 3 for 3 on 3rd down.
Yeah, and, you know, and that was all Brett, because Brett was on a roll out there, and he's just waiting for somebody to come open, somebody to uncover here. We see him on bootleg on a 3rd down here on this drive, and now we see him on a rollout here on this 3rd down. See, that's moving the whole pocket. It's Bubba Franks and Mark Tauscher out there kind of sealing the edge. He's running out of room there. He's almost to the sideline when he finds Koren Robinson.
Well, 1st and 10 from the Rams 44. Favre looking for Driver. Incomplete.
Well, there was a push-off out there as well, too. That's what Brett is saying. The 1st-round pick was covering Donald Driver right there. It's Travis Fisher right there. Watch him. Go push. Ooh. There was contact there. We saw Donald Driver come out to practice on Friday. He had got his ribs MRI'd that afternoon. Hadn't practiced Wednesday or Thursday after a vicious blow he took on Monday night from the Eagles.
Favre looking for Jennings. And it's broken up by Ty Hill, but there was a flag. Movement prior to the snap.
Smart play by Brett Favre. He knew that the Rams were offsides, and he had a free play.
Defense number 94. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
That's on the rookie 4th-round draft pick out of Indiana, Victor Adeyanju. Favre had the free play. Could not make the connection with Jennings, but the officials mark off 5 yards down to the 39. It will be 2nd down and 5.
We have not seen the Rams blitz yet today, and they've been the most blitz-happy team I've seen in the league so far this season.
As you mentioned, 48% blitz on 48% of the defensive plays. Here's Herron, and he's wrapped up by Kennedy as we check in for the first time with Chris Rose in Los Angeles. Chris?
All right, Kenny, in New Orleans, the Bucs turning their lonely eyes to 6th-round pick Bruce Gradkowski, firing 18 yards to Joey Galloway. The Bucs' first quarter points all season and their first lead as well. They're up 7-zip over the Saints. Back to Kenny and Baldy.
And Chris, Tampa Bay looking for their first win.
Yeah, with the 6th-round pick from Toledo. Bruce Gradkowski getting a start for Chris Sims then.
3rd down and 3. Packers have to get to the 34. Again, movement. Flash, free play. Off the fingertips of Driver.
Brett's mad because that was a wide open Donald Driver that he just blistered with that fastball.
Offside. Defense number 97 in the neutral zone to snap. 5-yard penalty that results in a first down.
This time it's Leroy Glover, who played for Jim Haslett in New Orleans.
Well, the Rams have done a good job of bringing a lot of veteran players in that have played a lot of snaps. Guys like Leroy Glover and Will Witherspoon and Corey Chavis, veteran guys that have fit in very well to this defense.
Automatic first down on the Rams 32. Herring inside the 25 and is close to another first down.
Well, the Rams sent their first blitz of the day, and the Packers ran right by it. Came with the corner blitz right here, right off the slot, and Noah Herron's going to take this ball right by it. Trying to seal the edge there is good read by Noah Herron, who has good vision and good quickness.
So we have not seen Morency since the ball came loose a second time. Packers have stuck with Herron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you fumble it twice in 2 drives, and that you'll get a seat on the sidelines.
12th play of the drive for the Packers. This is Herron. First down and more. Finally forced out of bounds at the Rams 12.
I'll tell you who's excited about this right now. Outside of Noah Herron getting a chance, is a couple of young offensive linemen that are now starting for the Packers. A couple of rookies, Darren College at left guard and Jason Spitz at right guard. Those guys are doing a good job of sealing the line of scrimmage and allowing Herron to pick up yards down the field.
28 yards on 4 carries for Herron, who split last season between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Packers. Carried the ball 4 times over the first 4 games this year. Taking advantage of the lack of ball security by Morency in this first quarter. Herron getting an opportunity, and he brings this one all the way down to the 5.
Hey, the Packers have instilled a zone blocking scheme up front. That means they block areas. They don't block men. So everybody is on this path, pattern blocking here. Anybody that comes in their path there, they block. So you see Darren College going up to the linebacker who's in his area. And they really do a good job of sealing that edge. They think they're very close to getting some big runs in the running game that we haven't seen so far in the first month of the season.
Packers do not have a rushing touchdown this season. On 2nd and 3, Herron is about a yard shy of the marker.
You know, they like Noah Herron, and what they really thought he was going to be, they really wanted him to be the fullback here. They really thought that he could be an undersized fullback, not quite quick enough or fast enough to be the tailback, but he just didn't pick it up. He didn't pick it up well enough, and he likes the ball in his hands. And, you know, on this drive right here, he looks like he's a good fit in this offense.
7th round pick by the Steelers last year.
Steelers always seem to be able to find running backs, don't they?
3rd down and 1. Favre can't find anyone. Now he throws, and it's broken up in the end zone. But there is a flag. Ty Hill got a piece of it. Pass intended for the tight end, David Martin. Ron Winter, our referee today.
Well, if this is against the Rams, their 3rd defensive penalty.
Holding. Defense number 22. Penalized half the distance to the goal. And a first down.
Travis Fisher, so it is the 3rd penalty called on the Rams defense on this drive. So an automatic first down, 1st and goal inside the 2.
Well, with the Packers trying to instill a new running attack with a lot of new parts, they want to break the ice of the rushing touchdown. I think this is where they're going to try to go for it right now, on the ground, and break that barrier.
Henderson, the fullback, the handoff to Herron, and he takes it in for the touchdown. The first rushing touchdown for the Packers this season, and Herron winds up in the first row.
His first Lambeau Leap. That's how the Packers have to play football. They have to play perfect. They've got to be incredibly patient, take what the defense gives them. A lot of no names out there right now, like Brandon Myree and Noah Herron. And they've got to, rely on some mistakes from the other team.
Well, he did score 2 touchdowns here last year. In the final 2 games of the season against Chicago and Seattle. 7 carries, 38 yards on the drive for Noah Herron as the Packers take it 80 yards and tie the game at 7.
Fox NFL Sundays, sponsored by Lexus and the new 303 horsepower GS350. By Samsung, the official HD TV of the NFL. By UPS, what can Brown do for you? And by Subway Restaurants. Subway, eat fresh.
Noah Herron gained nearly half of the Packers' 80 yards during their scoring drive.
15 plays, 80 yards, very methodical, and they tie the score up.
Dave Rayner's kickoff, bobbled by J.R. Reed, the former Eagle, picks it up and takes it out across the 15-yard line. So the Rams go back on offense late first quarter. The Lambeau Elite, Noah Herron, 7-7. A 15-play, 80-yard drive took over 8 minutes, and the first Packers rushing touchdown of the season. Charles Woodson injured on the Torrey Holt touchdown. Back in the game for the Packers. As the Rams come out with 4 wide receivers, they start from their own 16-yard line. Bulger backpedaling, gets rid of it to Steven Jackson, but he is hit for a loss of 3, taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Nick Barnett.
Well, in that 4 wide receiver package the Rams just had, Nick Barnett is the only linebacker on the field for Green Bay, and that's his job, to cover Steven Jackson one-on-one. If he runs with the ball, you go chase him. If he goes out in a pass pattern, you go mirror him, and he did a great job of doing just that.
Now 2nd down and 12. Jackson up the middle. Brady Papinga, the first Packer to make contact. Jackson gaining just 2.
This Packer defense has played very well in spots this year, especially up front with these 4 guys. They've done a good job of controlling the run. Their problem is they give up a lot of big plays. In fact, they've given up the most big plays of 20 yards or more of any team in the league. So they get them in the 3rd and 11 like they do the Rams here, and then they haven't been able to give out the knockout punch and get off the field.
Rams have to get to the 26 for a first down. Bulger to the outside, incomplete. Looking for a diving Kevin Curtis. So the Rams, following the Packers' 15-play drive, go 3 and out thanks to the Green Bay defense.
Well, they got good pressure, good pressure here. And here's the coverage on Kevin Curtis. That's Patrick Dendy, who's just been elevated up to the active squad with the release of Ahmad Carroll. And see Mark Bulger getting a little press from A.J. Hawk.
Matt Turk, a Wisconsin native, punting at Lambeau for the first time in the regular season. And Charles Woodson, who was shaken up earlier this quarter, with a good return for the Packers. Out to the 42-yard line, a 55-yard punt by Turk, 12 on the return by Woodson. So after 1, it's the Packers 7 and the Rams 7. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local Fox station. Welcome back to Lambeau Field. Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger. Packers and Rams tied at 7 as we begin the second quarter. Brett Favre, 5 of 7, 32 yards. 7 touches for Vernon Morency, but he fumbled twice and has not been on the field since that second fumble, replaced by Noah Herron, who scored the Packers touchdown.
Oh, I think you'll see a lot of Noah Herron on out here, unless something happens to him. But that's where Vernon Morency may end up the rest of the day after those 2 first quarter fumbles.
Favre calls timeout as the Packers get set to begin their drive at the 42-yard line.
Green Bay, they're first. A 30-second timeout.
Well, the Packers want to run this zone stretch game right here. That's the fumble right there by Morency. Another fumble here. He quickly got himself a spot on the sideline, so Noah Herron comes in. Gets his first extensive action this season. Gets the first rushing touchdown of the year for the Packers, and that earned him a Lambeau leap. You know, last year, Brett Favre, in his first losing season here in Green Bay, threw the ball 607 times, Kenny. And that's the most he's ever attempted in his life. And already this year, he's on pace to throw it for more. So the best friend Brett Favre could have in his changing offense is for the running game to take off.
He's thrown the ball 41 times a game this year. 3 more per game than last season. Favre to the air on first down.
Wow.
And the catch is made by the rookie, Greg Jennings. A 38-yard completion, but there is a flag. Flag at the 19-yard line.
Great hands. Great hands. And Greg Jennings said he always has had good hands. High school at Kalamazoo, where Derek Jeter went to high school. College at Western Michigan, and here in Green Bay.
Personal foul. Defense number 26. Grabbing the opening of the helmet to make the tackle. Penalize half the distance to the goal. First down.
Ty Hill out here. Look at that finger catch. And then the hit from the safety over the top. Beautiful catch. And then grabbed him by the helmet, threw him down to the ground, which was the personal foul.
So a 38-yard pass play and then 10 more on the penalty. Here's Herring. Herring brought down at the 8 by LeRoy Glover after a gain of 2. Greg Jennings, who made that spectacular catch, on pace to break Sterling Sharp's club record for receptions by a Packer rookie.
Yeah, a great job of putting that ball away. Now, here's a guy that put that ball away, tucked it away, and one of the things I think that helps Greg is he was a redshirt player at Western Michigan, then played 4 years. He was in college for 5 years. Very mature kid, a lot of football, high IQ.
Empty backfield for the Packers. Second and goal from the 8. Favre to the end zone, nearly intercepted. Will Witherspoon got a piece of it, knocked it down. Pass intended for David Martin.
Yeah, but he had Bubba Franks wide open. I mean, at one time, Brett's favorite target in the red zone. Watch Bubba Franks here. He doesn't get covered. There's nobody there. He's clapping for the ball. Had time to give 3 or 4 claps there. Brett got locked on David Martin there and completely missed Bubba Franks. Now, if I was Green Bay, I'd come right back and run the same play and throw it to Franks.
Third and goal from the 8. Favre from the shotgun. Looking end zone, he pump fakes. Stumbled and is taken down back at the 10-yard line by Leonard Little. First sack for Little of Favre in his career in 4 games against the Packers.
And Brett will be really upset with himself on that series because they had a great opportunity to get their second touchdown of the day. And one that he rarely ever misses to a tight end of his size, Bubba Franks.
And Brian, the first time Favre has been sacked the last 3 games.
Yeah, that's really on him.
So now Dave Rayner, the former Colt in his second season out of Michigan State, will attempt a 28-yard field goal from the right hash. The Packers have their first lead of the afternoon. A 5-play, 49-yard drive. The big play, the 38-yard completion from Favre to Jennings.
Yeah, and then they just missed an opportunity to finish that. The chance to get the ball in the end zone to Bubba Franks. Mike McCarthy, the head coach and really running the offense, he's been hard on Brett and making sure that he finds the right read and not turn the ball over and taking care of it. So I'm sure that he told him what he thought about that missed read.
They spent the '99 season together when McCarthy was the quarterbacks coach here. Again, Rayner showing his strong leg. So the Rams will start from the 20. Who's playing in Philadelphia later today, Brian?
Oh, that team from Dallas. Or is it just T.O.? Is it just T.O. that's playing the Philadelphia Eagles this week? That's going to be some showdown. T.O. coming back to Philadelphia. I'm trying to think about this, Kenny. It's sort of like when Shaq went back to play against the L.A. Lakers and seeing Kobe for the first time. A marriage that went bad.
Also similar to when you returned to Dallas for the first time. Here's Steven Jackson, penalty marker, as Jackson gains 3 on first down.
They have doubled the security at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia for today's game.
Holding. Offense number 68. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's on the center. Richie Incognito. Not as much security needed here in Green Bay.
No, but that guy's very incognito.
Yes.
Yeah. No, not much needed here. I mean, in Green Bay, I cut somebody off on Lombardi Avenue coming to the stadium today. Kenny, nobody yelled at me. Nobody gave me a half a peace sign. Nobody threw anything at me. Philadelphia, a bagel comes flying out the window at you if you do that.
Why did a nice man just cut in front of him?
That's all. I think that's all they said.
Here's Bulger on 1st and 20, complete to Isaac Bruce. But he's tackled at the 15-yard line by Charles Woodson after a gain of just 5. First reception today and the 834th of Bruce's illustrious career.
Well, I think that, the fun matchup. You buy a ticket to come to Lambeau Field today. You're lucky enough to get in here. You want to watch this matchup of Al Harris at right corner, Charles Woodson at left corner against the esteemed players of Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. I mean, they're man-to-man. They're locked up. They get no help here. What can they do here today? And so far, you'd say the Green Bay's cornerbacks are winning.
2nd down and 15. Bulger nearly picked off by A.J. Hawk. Penalty marker back at the 12-yard line.
A.J. Hawk almost had his first NFL interception. Watch the coverage on the outside, forcing Mark Bulger to go down that middle.
Illegal shift. Two-man movement did not set prior to the snap. A penalty's decline. Makes it 3rd down.
Here's that coverage. Torrey Holt, nice job by Al Harris, getting his hands on him, knocking him off that route, and then Charles Woodson running stride for stride with Isaac Bruce. So good coverage on the outside there, forcing Bulger to have to go over the middle. Great coverage by A.J. Hawk. So a team that has given up a lot of big plays in the passing game so far today have locked things down.
On 3rd down and 15, Bulger calls timeout.
St. Louis.
Fans on their feet here in Green Bay with the Packers leading by 3. Back in Green Bay, Packers leading by 3. A 3rd down and 15 for the Rams. They have to get to the 30. Bulger from the shotgun. Another penalty flag as the catch is made by the former Packer, Tony Fisher. And he takes it up to the 30-yard line.
Be another penalty against the Rams, who are not sharp today.
Holding. Offense number 79. Penalized half the distance to the goal. Repeat 3rd down.
That's on the veteran left guard Todd Stussy, the 6th penalty committed by the Rams today.
Yeah, Todd Stussy playing left guard now. Has played left tackle already this season. See, he's not looking to his left or to his right. He just wants to concentrate. Very loud out there. He can't hear. Got to stay focused, look at that ball, and look at his man at the same time.
3rd down and 22. 4 wide receivers for the Rams. They have to get to the 30. Another flag.
It only encourages them more. I mean, the fans will only get louder now when they see what it's doing to them.
False start. Offense number 83. Penalized half the distance to the goal. It remains 3rd down.
That's on wide receiver Kevin Curtis, penalty number 7.
Yeah, and and the fans know that they haven't won a lot of home games here in recent years. I mean, the mystique of Lambeau Field is over, but don't tell that to these fans on a perfect fall afternoon. They feel like they're right in the huddle with the Packers fighting the Rams.
It is now 3rd and 26. Bulger setting up in the end zone. Takes the snap. Complete to Fisher. And Fisher brought down at the 14, giving the punter Turk some breathing room.
Yeah, Tony Fisher, a former Packer. One of those guys that has been jettisoned in this complete makeover that they have of the Green Bay Packers. Now, you come here to Green Bay now, you better study your roster, because there's a lot of unfamiliar names that these Packer fans are trying to get used to.
Another good kick by Turk. Taken out the 41 by Woodson. And Woodson across midfield. 44-yard punt. 9 on the return. Packers fell behind early. They lead by 3 and have good field position. Do you own a cheesehead, Brian?
I don't own one. They did have a few of those that snuck into Philadelphia last week. Somehow they were able to wear them the entire game.
I saw that.
Yeah. Surprising.
5 of the Packers start from midfield. Terrific field position. Handoff to Herron. And Herron gaining 8 all the way down to the Rams 42.
Boy, that's some power right there. You know, Noah Herron is about 225 pounds on a 5'11 frame, and he hit that hole here. Watch him just carry bodies. That's one way you know if a guy has power. They're running right through that tackle of a defensive lineman and carrying. You have a run like that on first down, it deserves a second run on second down.
Second down and 3. Off the play fake. 5 firing. Jennings at the 31-yard line. Greg Jennings makes the catch for a gain of 13. Although now it's ruled an incompletion. Jennings did not hold on. Looked initially like Jennings made the catch.
We said that the Green Bay wanted to move the pocket, move Brett around a little bit today, roll him out. Oh yeah, that was good play by Ron Bartell here. Ball a little bit behind Jennings and then finished by Bartell. Missed opportunity.
So instead, a third down and 3. Jennings in motion.
Got a blitz coming from the Rams.
Favre rolling right. In trouble. Gets rid of it.
Oh.
And it's complete for a first down to Jennings. He was nearly sacked by Will Witherspoon, but found Jennings downfield for a Packers first down.
And Brett wants to hurry up and run this play at the line of scrimmage right now before the Rams get set. And he may get them a little bit out of sync here. They're not really sure who's supposed to be on the field. Brett sees it, tries to run a play.
And he lost the football.
Oof. He was the only one that wanted to run the play. I don't think the line was ready. St. Louis certainly wasn't ready.
Perhaps Favre felt that the Rams may have challenged whether or not Jennings was inbounds on the previous reception.
Well, that was exactly what he was trying to get off.
Timeout. St. Louis prior to the snap.
So the Rams called timeout so Scott Linehan could think about whether or not he wanted to challenge the catch by Jennings. This gives the assistant coaches time to look at the replays upstairs. Well, Scott Linehan has decided not to challenge the play, but the Rams called timeout in order to get their defense set.
Yeah, well, here's the feed inbounds by Jennings, and here's the possession of the ball. So upon review or looking at that replay, Scott Linehan decided not to challenge it.
The catch was made at the Rams sideline,
Yep.
so some of the Rams had a good look at it, but the defense was not set, so Linehan used the timeout. So a 1st and 10 for the Packers from the 33. Favre into the end zone, incomplete. Pass was intended for Greg Jennings. Corey Chavis on the coverage.
Well, it's a good shot. I mean, first of all, Brett did a great job of stepping up in the pocket and avoiding all the traffic. And then, you know, as much as they want Brett to kind of just take what the defense gives him, he's always going to want to be aggressive. And so the thing about Greg Jennings is he's got great football awareness. He's made 2 big plays so far today that has helped the offense out. He's got great hands. He's not overly fast or big, but he's just a consistent guy that always seems to be able to get open.
2nd and 10. Inside handoff to Herron. Herron takes it down to the 27-yard line. Gain of 6, setting up 3rd down and 4. Well, who is Greg Jennings? 2nd-round draft pick out of Western Michigan, nicknamed Superman by his high school coach. He enjoys bowling. Likes vacationing in Jamaica. Favorite actor Jamie Foxx. And he told us he couldn't wait to watch Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt today when the Rams were out on offense.
Sounds like a pretty normal guy, doesn't he? I mean, who doesn't like those things?
You been to Jamaica?
Oh, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't want to go out there, an umbrella drink in Jamaica?
Favre on 3rd and 4, looking for Corin Robinson. What Greg Jennings also told us, he couldn't stand Brett Favre. He grew up in Michigan. He was a Lions fan and a Colts fan. He loved Barry Sanders.
Well,
he said Brett always beat the Lions. I couldn't stand him, but I love him to death now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the first thing he said to him was, yeah, I mean, you were the guy that we despised. Come into the Superdome and whip the Lions year after year. He likes catching those passes from him right now.
2 big ones today. Dave Rayner, who hit from 54 on Monday, pulls this 45-yard attempt wide to the left. His 3rd missed field goal this season. They have all gone wide left. So the Packers lead remains 10-7. And the Rams will take over with good field position when we come back.
After 16 years, you would think that they would get the spelling of Favre correct. 16 years, it's Favre. Favre. I mean, they just can't get that thing right yet.
That's the phonetic spelling.
Yes. Okay. We'll work with them. We'll send them back to remedial England.
Now the Rams from the 36. Here's Jackson. Of course, when Brett made his acting debut in Something About Mary, it was pronounced Favreau.
Yeah. Well, that's Hollywood. You don't expect those people to know how to do it. See, back in there for the Rams this week is Orlando Pace at left tackle. He missed last week with a concussion. Certainly the perennial All-Pro. That group is better up front, although they've been handled so far today.
And have also had a couple of yellow flags thrown. 2nd down and 8. From the 38. Bulger to the near side. Wow. Torrey Holt, what a catch out at midfield.
Charles Woodson is on his knees in disbelief that Torrey Holt found a way to catch this ball. I mean, look at that. How much better can you cover a play than that? It was a little bit of air in between Woodson and Holt.
Illegal contact. Defense number 31 prior to the pass. Penalties decline. The play results in a 1st down.
Now that's only the 2nd catch by Torrey Holt today. Isaac Bruce has 1. Both those guys are coming off 100-yard receiving days against the Lions last week. Both of them lined up next to each other all the way to the left side of the field.
From midfield, Bulger on 1st down. Looking for Isaac Bruce, and there is a flag.
They ran those guys in tandem that time. Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt running down the field together, and then they split off down the field.
Pass interference. Defense number 21. Penalized at the spot of the foul, and a 1st down.
That's on Charles Woodson.
But, you know, Woodson was the big free agent acquisition here as they tried to rebuild the secondary. Woodson put his right hand out there and kind of grabbed Isaac Bruce to turn him around. It was a good call in the open field. Try to slow him down. Big free agent acquisition, a lot of money spent there trying to shore things up. And this is a game that you want him at his best for, against a passing attack with great receivers.
From the 35 on 1st down, Steven Jackson gains 6 down to the Packers 29 as we check in once again with Chris Rhodes.
Kenny, will the Bears ever lose? I don't think so. Cedric Benson with his first career NFL touchdown in from a yard out, beating their old coach Dick Duran 20-0. Bears looking to improve to 5-0 for the first time since '86. Back to Kenny and Baldy.
Well, they shut out the Packers up here to start the season, and they are a balanced football team.
Coming off the win over Seattle. Jackson, first down. And the Ram fans, of course, very happy with that Bears victory last week. Seahawks off this weekend. Seattle and St. Louis tied atop the NFC West with 3-1 records, and they will meet next week in St. Louis.
Possibly for first place in the NFC West. St. Louis had that 2 years ago, won the West. Seattle won it last year, of course, went to the Super Bowl. Playing without the MVP of the league, Sean Alexander, right now.
Around the 24. Jackson on the cutback. And Steven Jackson takes it down to the 20-yard line, gaining 4.
Now, Steven Jackson calls himself the Big Marshall Faulk. And this was a Marshall Faulk move right here. At 240 pounds, he comes to a complete stop. Boom. Now, when he stops, the defense has to stop. He tries to cut back. Steven Jackson coming off a game where he had his best day ever receiving the football for the Rams in that big win against the Lions last week, and came in today leading the National Football League in yards from scrimmage. Being a complete player.
Under 6 minutes remaining, second quarter. Packers leading by 3. What a day on Fox. Cowboys and Eagles coming up, and then tonight, game 4 of the National League Division Series. St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres, who staved off elimination yesterday. Cardinals lead the series 2-1. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The pitching matchup, Woody Williams for the Padres and Chris Carpenter, who was tremendous in game 1 for the Cardinals.
Well, what a baseball town St. Louis is. And I know you do a lot of games. Kenny, you've been out to the new Busch Stadium?
I have made it there once this year. I was actually at the last game ever played at the old Busch last October.
They did an unbelievable job. It was almost like what they did here to Lambeau Field. And they reconditioned that stadium, you know, right as soon as the season was over last year. As the season was finishing, and now it's complete. Cullen Jenkins, their starting defensive tackle, comes off the field right now.
Stephen Davis in the backfield for the Rams, the former Redskin and Panther. 2nd down and 6 off the play fake. Bulger stays on his feet. Now throws, and the catch is made down at the 10-yard line by Davis.
You know, Mark Bulger finished the year last year on injury reserve with a bad shoulder, and so he spent the winter and the offseason really hitting the weights and strengthening that shoulder up. And I think his whole body is stronger because he consistently now is able to get away from a guy like Aaron Canton. You know, break a tackle, keep the play alive, and still get rid of the football. Like he said, he went from bench pressing 225 times 6 times to now being able to do it 12. And I think that's helping him on the field.
How many times can you do it?
Yeah, 30, 40.
Over the course of a month. Here's Davis. Gets it back inside. And gains a couple down to the 8-yard line. Marquand Manuel made the tackle. 2nd and goal coming up for the Rams.
See, this Packer defense is feisty. I mean, you know, this is a team now that's being rebuilt, and new linebackers, A.J. Hawk out there, you know, Charles Woodson coming in. Marquand Manuel, a free agent from Seattle, comes in, and this is how they play. They're making you earn your yards. They just have given up a lot of big plays this year, and that's why they've given up a lot of points. But play to play, they tackle well and they squeeze the run well.
Steven Jackson back in. 2nd and goal. Jackson. And he's taken down by the middle linebacker, Nick Barnett, at the 3-yard line. So with 4 minutes remaining, 2nd quarter, and the Packers leading 10-7. The Rams now facing a 3rd and goal from the Green Bay 3.
Green Bay's style of defense is man-to-man. So last time right there, Nick Barnett had Steve Jackson one-on-one, man-to-man. So here you are down there, 3rd down at the 3. Rams were great in the red zone last week. They'll be man-to-man here. Look for some crossing routes right here from the Rams, trying to shake this coverage outside.
4 receivers. And a timeout called by the Packers. So each team with one timeout remaining. Scott Linehan checking his play chart. You know, Howie Long talked about Scott Linehan as we remind you the Eagles and the Cowboys are coming up next in the second game of our doubleheader on Fox. But during the pregame show, Howie Long said that nobody loves Scott Linehan more than Mark Bulger. And he was talking about the protection schemes that Linehan has brought in from Miami.
Yeah, you know that guy next to him right there, Gus Frerotte. He played for Scott Linehan with the Miami Dolphins last year. And he tells his quarterbacks two things. He said, first of all, aggressively take what the defense gives you. And then second of all, on first and second down, if it's not there, throw the ball away. Gus Frerotte did that last year in Miami, helped out the offensive line. And Mark Bulger hasn't taken a lot of sacks this year so far, getting rid of the football.
Four wide receivers, Holt and McDonald to the left, Curtis and Bruce to the right. Jackson in the backfield, 3rd and goal from the 3. Bulger looking end zone, the throw, and Kevin Curtis makes the catch for a Rams touchdown. His first touchdown this season.
I tell you, Bulger put that ball where only Kevin Curtis could get it. Working against that man-to-man, they got a little rub on the backside of that end zone line, and it's just perfection. Kevin Curtis right here, going to come, see, there's the rub. There's the crossing route against double coverage. Look at that throw. He throws the ball to spots, Kenny. I mean, with anticipation to a spot, the receiver's job is to go get it.
And Wilkins adds the extra point, so the Rams regain the lead. Second touchdown pass of this first half for Bulger. Now has 7 on the year.
That tight spiral, I mean, what's interesting is Mark Bulger grew up 1 block away from where Mike McCarthy was in Pittsburgh. And Mark Bulger said that Mike McCarthy didn't know him there. And then the New Orleans Saints drafted Mark Bulger. Jim Haslett and Mike McCarthy were down there in New Orleans, drafted him in the 6th round in 2000. And Mark Bulger said they didn't know him in New Orleans either. Let him go, and boy, he's been a great find for the Rams.
You saw Colin Jenkins exiting with a left ankle injury. You know, Bulger talked about that 2000 Saints training camp. New Orleans had Aaron Brooks. They had Jeff Blake. They also had Jake Delhomme.
They had Jake Delhomme. They had Billy Joe Tolliver, Patrick Barnes. You know, Mark Bulger can remember every single quarterback that was there. He said he got all of 2 reps, I think, in training camp that year.
Released by the Saints. Had a cup of coffee in Atlanta. He was released by the Falcons and has found a home in St. Louis.
Well, you know, he said Mike Martz showed him how to play quarterback in the NFL, and that was great for him. And he ran the greatest show on turf when Kurt Warner left. You know, and now Scott Linehan is teaching him a philosophy about the bigger picture, how to manage games and win games. You know, it's not about offensive statistics some Sundays. Sometimes it's just about, you know, just getting out of Lambeau Field with the win, not turning the ball over.
Short kickoff, out of bounds. So the Packers again will have terrific field position starting from their own 40. So the 13-year veteran Jeff Wilkins, love to have that kickback.
First down.
And with 3:27 remaining, second quarter, we check in with Chris Rose. Chris?
All right, Kenny, down in New Orleans, you think John Gruden's going to love breaking this down on game film? Where's the tackling, guys? Deuce McAllister into the end zone from 24 yards out. 9 carries, 117 yards so far for McAllister. And the Saints have the lead. Back to Kenny and Baldy.
All right, Chris, Saints off to a 3-1 start. Favre handing it off to Herron. And on first down, Noah Herron, who has the Packers touchdown. Gain 6 out to the 46-yard line. The Packers scored their touchdown in the first quarter, matching their longest drive of the season, 80 yards, as Will Witherspoon is shaken up. Came into this game as the Rams' leading tackler. Signed as a free agent after 4 years in Carolina. And Jim Haslett, his coordinator, told us yesterday that in his mind, Will Witherspoon is just as good as Brian Urlacher.
Well, he thinks he's great in the passing game. He's very, very fast, and he's just one of those guys that's underrated. He was a weak side linebacker with the Carolina Panthers, and Jim aggressively went after him in free agency to make him the focal point of their defense. So far, he's been that guy.
Rams training staff tending to Will Witherspoon.
With 51, and yeah, that left ankle gets wrapped up there. The Rams picked up Isaiah Kasavensky this week from Seattle. He was the special teams captain in Seattle for a number of years, led them in special team tackles twice, played middle linebacker for him. Mike Holmgren put him out there just to make some moves during the week, and boy, the Rams scooped him up right away. He's a guy that will learn this defense, will probably back up Will Witherspoon within time.
And not only is he terrific on special teams, but with that game against the Seahawks coming up next week, he knows Seattle's personnel as well as anybody.
They'll put the big, bright, hot lights in his face and get all the information out of him.
Now a 2nd down and 4, 3 wide receivers set. And the gift to Herron. Picks up a first down and more. Finally brought down at the 38, but there is a flag back in the offensive backfield.
I was going to say, that was going to be the longest run from scrimmage by a Packer running back all season.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
It's on the right guard. Jason Spitz erases the 16-yard run by Herron.
That's one of those plays where all you see is the finish of it, where it looks like Jason Spitz is pulling the defensive tackle down. In fact, the defensive tackle was slipping and already going down. He just happened to be blocking.
So instead of a first down in Rams territory, a 2nd down and 14. Close snap. And Favre's pass is caught out at the 49-yard line by Corin Robinson. Gain of 13 yards, stopped a yard shy of the marker as the clock winds down, taking us to the 2-minute warning. How about the Tennessee Titans leading the Indianapolis Colts in Vince Young's 2nd NFL start, 10-0 in the 2nd quarter here in Green Bay with 2 minutes remaining.
This is a 2-minute
in the half. It's the Rams 14 and the Packers 10.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa.
Beautiful 67-degree afternoon in Green Bay. Brett Favre, 2 days shy of his 37th birthday, brings the Packers to the line. 3rd down and 1. And Noah Herron has a first down and more. Taken down at the Rams 41 after gaining 10.
Yeah, this is the best this running attack has looked all year. They're getting some quick splits, and Noah Herron looks like he should be the guy in there. I mean, he follows Brandon Myers. See that hole open up right there? That's the offensive line doing a great job inside, getting some splits there. And then good vision by Herron. See it, recognize it, and then get up the field and get as many yards as he can.
Amon Green out for the 2nd straight game. Vernon Morency fumbled twice early. 68 yards in the first half for Noah Herron. Favre on first down, firing downfield. And he overthrows the intended receiver, Robinson.
Well, Corin Robinson is what Brett Favre says are one legitimate deep threat. Got probably more speed than anybody, more size than anybody there. And he had a step on Ron Bartell, and Brett just missed it.
Will Witherspoon has checked back in for the Rams after injuring his right ankle earlier this series. Three wide receiver set, 2nd down and 10. Packers have 1 timeout remaining. Herron brought down at the 38 by Jerome Carter. Gain of 4 as he adds to his career high total. Now has 72 yards. Coming up next, the Visa halftime report with Curt Menefee, Terry Howie, and Jimmy from Philadelphia. They will bring you scores and highlights, plus the Fox Sports sticker. It's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
Poor Robinson having a little trouble getting lined up. Here he is, Brett trying to work with them here.
3rd down and 5. Packers have to get to the 32. Favre over the middle. A diving catch is made by Robinson. There is a flag. Robinson at the 23 picks up the 1st down.
I think Favre just told him, just run into the middle of the field. Just go in the middle. I'll get the ball to you. Good protection there.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 25. Penalties decline. Play results in a 1st down.
14-yard pickup for Corin Robinson. Corey Chavis, the guilty Ram.
Working on Corin Robinson. Robinson wanted to get inside, and he got in there.
Teammates last year in Minnesota.
In Minnesota. Corin Robinson in the Pro Bowl last year is the kick returner.
From the 23. Favre on 1st down. And the pass caught. Gain of just 2 yards for Herron. And with 23 seconds remaining, the Packers use their final timeout of the half.
You look at Noah Herron here today. First rushing touchdown for the Packers this season. Coming up on this drive. Sticks it into the end zone, gets himself a Lambeau leap. But really, this zone blocking scheme that teams like Atlanta and Denver incorporate into their offense right now is looked as healthy and as good as it has all year for the Packers. And I think a big part of it has been Noah Herron. Just running it to perfection, reading the blocks up front, finding the split. What they want you to do is make one cut, and then get downhill. Get upfield and get as many yards as you can.
Ahman Green on the sidelines. Packers with no timeouts left. 23 seconds remaining in the half. 2nd down and 8. Favre in trouble, dumps it off to Herron. And Herron, with the clock moving, is finally tackled at the 15.
They got to get lined up here, and Favre wants to clock it. All they need is 1 second left on the clock here to get the field goal team out.
And Favre does just that. So Dave Rayner, who was hit 1 of 2, will come out to attempt the field goal.
And you see, what's disappointing about that for the Packers is they never took one shot to the end zone. You have Brett Favre in there. This is his kind of a day. You got to take one shot to the end zone and maybe not run that screen. At least get a chance for 7. You got a field goal kicker out here. You can make it from this distance. Like one shot for the touchdown.
A 33-yard attempt. He hit from 27 earlier, missed from 45. And Rayner is now 2 for 3, pulls the Packers to within 1 as the 1st half comes to an end. Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers looking for their 2nd win of the season, their 1st here in Lambeau. Head into the locker room, Brian, trailing Mark Bulger and the Rams by 1.
It was a good 1st half. I mean, good 1st half all the way around. I think the Packers left some points on the board, but I think Mark Bulger started to heat up in the 2nd quarter.
Big 1st half for Noah Herron of the Packers, replacing Vernon Morency, who fumbled twice. Herron with 73 yards. Mark Bulger with a couple of touchdown passes.
14-13, but they controlled the clock. They ran 38 plays to 21. Time of possession, yards 2-1. I mean, they got them where they want them right now. They've got to maximize their points when they get down inside the red zone. That's the difference, and they can't turn the ball over.
Rayner kicks off to begin this 2nd half. Short kick. And it's scooped up by J.R. Reed. And Reed is forced back by Patrick Dendy. A return of only 9 yards as we check out The first half numbers, the only turnover leading to a Rams touchdown, and St. Louis had the ball for only 12.5 minutes.
Well, here's the thing, is Green Bay came in with the 31st ranked pass defense in the league, and they've held one of the most vicious pass offenses to 60 yards passing. They've kept Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt in check, and so kudos to the Green Bay secondary in the first half.
You had to look at the fantasy numbers, and for the latest in fantasy stats, log on to FoxSports.com. Here's Steven Jackson, who the Packers held in check. Only 27 yards on 8 carries in the first half, and he's tackled here after a gain of 3 by A.J. Hawk.
Well, the first month of the season was not what the Packers wanted, and the Rams got exactly what they wanted. They got a 3-1 start, and so depends on who can dictate the tempo of the game. Right now, the Packers are dictating it. The Rams are sluggish getting out of the huddle. They had 7 penalties in the first half. They've got to change the tempo of this game in their favor.
And as you see, the Packers have not allowed any big plays today. The longest Rams offensive play today has been just 12 yards. Steven Jackson diving forward. Stopped shy of the marker. Gain of 6. So a 3rd and short coming up for the Rams.
Last week they came out of the tunnel on Monday night. The Packers did. They were winning 9-7. And they had control of that game. They didn't really get the points that they could have had. Missed some opportunities. And it's sort of reminiscent right now tonight, or this afternoon, of what happened on Monday night. Can they maintain what they did in the first half here?
Mike McCarthy told us again on Monday there are no medals given out at halftime.
No, it's 60 minutes now.
3rd down and 1. Bolger complete to the fullback, Hitchcock, and Nick Barnett comes up to make the tackle, but the Rams get an advantageous spot.
I don't know if that's a good spot, because Hitchcock never had possession of the ball when Barnett hit him. So I would question that spot right there. The guy has to have possession for it to be a spot kill. And I think that's what Mike McCarthy is telling you.
The Packers on their sidelines were looking up at the replay on the video screen.
Just here it is. He's bobbling that ball now. That ball, it's not where the feet are, Kenny. It's where the ball is. The ball was in his right hand. I don't think the ball was ever possessed and crossed the first down line. You can challenge a first down spot.
Green Bay.
And Mike McCarthy elects to challenge the spot. A look at Scott Linehan on the Rams sideline. Ron Winter will take a look at it through the hood. It will either be a first down or a 4th and inches and a Rams punt. We'll see.
This 3rd down play is being reviewed by the Packers. It was ruled a first down. A catch by Madison Hitchcock. Barnett, though, it's where the ball is. I don't know that the ball ever crossed that yellow line. Now, the head linesman who made the call, he didn't have a great angle at the play. So it'll be interesting to see what the ruling is. It has to be indisputable evidence to overturn the first down.
Both coaches await Ron Winter's decision.
The ball will be moved back to the back point of the ball on the 34-yard line. Then we will measure to see if a first down has been accomplished.
Okay, so they kind of won the challenge. They did win the challenge. Okay, the spot isn't what they were giving them. Now they have to rule if it's a first down and actually measure it. So 2 components to this play.
Nick Barnett still questioning the spot.
Yeah.
Here come the chains.
I don't think this should even be close if they move it back to the 34-yard line. This should be short. Well,
first down.
Still got it. Okay. Well, Mike he got the ball moved backwards, but still enough for the first down.
So he does not lose his timeout.
Yeah.
Now, Ron Winter announced that Green Bay is charged with a timeout, but they should not be.
No, because they actually won the challenge.
Right.
They got it moved to a different spot. Mike should challenge that challenge of the challenge, and losing the first down.
So here's Bulger looking for Torrey Holt. Diving attempt. Incomplete with Al Harris on the coverage.
Well, during that long delay there, trying to get that straightened out, Al Harris didn't go to sleep. He played that coverage against Torrey Holt perfect. Al Harris is made for this defense. Press coverage, man-to-man, got long arms, loves the challenge of defending receivers one-on-one. In fact, he didn't think that the Ram receivers beat the jam very well. His jam, his ability to get the hands on the receivers. He didn't think Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce were good at getting off of that.
Now 2nd and 10 from the 34. High snap. Bulger again looking for Holt. Charles Woodson on the coverage.
Yeah, and I tell you, these two guys, Charles Woodson and Al Harris, this is when they're earning their money here today, because they are winning this battle on these wideouts of St. Louis. But he got his hands on Torrey Holt there. They didn't call that. Torrey Holt wanted the illegal contact, and they didn't get it.
So now a 3rd down and 10. Giants leading the Redskins 9-3.
The guy they should be going after is number 43, Patrick Dendy, who's in motion here on Kevin Curtis. That's the weakness of the secondary right now.
And now Bulger uses the Rams' first time out. A 3rd down and 10 for Scott Linehan's Rams when we return. Fans on their feet here in Green Bay as the Rams come to the line. 3rd down and 10. They have to get to the 44 for a first down.
This is where they should go, to Kevin Curtis down below.
Bulger complete. Isaac Bruce. And Bruce has a first down. There is a flag. Isaac Bruce into Packers territory to the Green Bay 48. Gain of 18 yards on the play.
Defense number 31. Penalties decline. The play results in a first down.
But that's always what can happen if you're going to play press man-to-man with no help. Al Harris in the middle of your picture. Got his hands here. Well, knocked down the receiver. Pretty good physical play by Harris, but they called.
Steven Jackson on first down up the middle. And a gain of 6 down to the Packers 42. Corey Williams made the tackle.
See, I think what the Rams are fighting, I mean, they think that they can put 4 receivers out against an undermanned Green Bay secondary and just really let Mark Bulger go to the State Fair and just throw darts all over the field. But that gets away from what they're trying to do, which is control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, and have balance. Run Steven Jackson. That's what Mike Martz would have done last year. In this offense, they still want a running attack.
2nd down and 4. Play action. Bulger in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 47-yard line. Javier Badra-Biamila along with Michael Montgomery combined to sack Mark Bulger.
Yeah, I mean, here's KGB on the outside here. He's actually double teamed. But the coverage is so good down the field that it forced Mark Bulger to hold it longer than he wanted to. They're able to get that sack with only a 4-man rush.
Only Reggie White with more sacks as a Packer than KGB. 3rd down and 9. Rams have to get to the 37. Bulger from the shotgun. And penalty flags.
False start. Offense number 81. A 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
That's on Torrey Holt.
Torrey Holt was in motion that time. It was one of the few times today where he hasn't lined up with a cornerback right in his face. I think he just was in such a hurry to get that play started. Result, though, another penalty, and the offense continually to hurt themselves here today.
3rd down and 14. And Bulger throws it out of bounds. Holt, the intended receiver, as we check in with Chris Rose. Chris?
All right, Kenny, Eli Manning continues to develop. It's his 8th straight game with a touchdown pass, this one to Plaxico Burress. And the G-men, who are just 3-14 all-time following a bye, lead the Redskins 16-3 in the 3rd. Back to Kenny and Baldy.
Now the Giants coming off their bye looking sharp, trying to get back into that NFC East race, trying to get to 500.
Tough schedule to start the season for the Giants. The Colts, the Eagles, and the Seahawks. This punt took a Rams bounce. And the Packers will start from their own 12 when we return. We welcome you back to Lambeau, where the Rams lead the Packers by 1. Green Bay goes to work on offense for the first time in this second half. Brett Favre, 11 of 19, 116 yards in the first half. And here's Noah Herron, who gained 73 yards on the ground. And Herron gains 1 as we say hello to the 3rd member of our broadcast crew downstairs, Drew Smith. Drew?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Coming out, Coach Mike McCarthy says they just need to get more aggressive, especially in the red zone. Got to punch that in. And by the way, Noah Herron, he'll be doing the bulk of your carries for the rest of the game. On the Rams sideline, they just need more possessions. Get the defense off the field. That's going to be their goal this half. Back upstairs.
Thanks, Drew. And Brian, that's what you talked about. Rams had the ball for only 12.5 minutes in the first half. 3 receivers set, 2nd down and 9. Favre complete. Donald Driver. And Driver has the first down. Knocked out of bounds by Corey Chavis after a gain of 18 yards.
Holding. Offense number 63. Penalized half the distance to the goal. Repeat 2nd down.
So the late flag and the penalty called on center Scott Wells.
Well, watch this right here. I mean, this is just a natural pick play on the outside, rubbing right off of Greg Jennings. Favre read it right away. He saw a blitz look here by the Rams up here in the line of scrimmage, and he knew outside that they had a chance. Scott Wells held inside to pick up that fire zone where both inside linebackers crossed in the middle to pressure Favre.
So instead of a first down, it's 2nd and 15 from the 7. Packers trailing by 1. Herron. Noah Herron out across the 25, and he picks up a Packers first down, 19 yards for Herron.
Longest run of the season for the Packers, and he's got good quickness. He's got a good burst here. He's just really just a draw block right there. Nice job on the backside by Tony Ball, another rookie that's working and rotating in with that offensive line.
And that run the longest of Herron's career. Previous long was 17 yards last year. Here's Herron again. And this time nowhere to go, bottled up back at the 23-yard line by Ron Bartell, a loss of 2.
Yeah, you know, and Favre was talking to us on Friday, Kenny. He was telling about, you know, he was questioning just what their identity is, and he always had an identity here. I mean, when Mike Holmgren was here, they were West Coast offense, base personnel, 5 guys, don't change too much. Mike Sherman, they were a power running team, play action pass off the power running of Ahman Green. You know, and then they come in here and they got this zone running scheme, and they're trying to get it going, and when it's going, that's their identity. You know, a running football team. Take their shots down the field when they present themselves.
2nd down and 12. Favre pump fakes, throws, caught by Driver. And Driver is tackled about a yard shy of the marker. Can you explain in 30 seconds or less the zone running scheme in layman's terms?
Yeah, I mean, really, the guys up front, the 5 linemen and the tight end and the fullback, they're blocking areas. Anybody that comes into that area, that's their man. So you could line up with the guy over the top of you. That wouldn't necessarily be your man. You step to the left, it might be the guy behind you, it might be the fullback's man. You're blocking areas up front.
Good explanation.
Do you understand that?
You know this game.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Well, here we go. Watch this cutback here. He needs a block.
Nice cutback by Herron, but runs into a trio of Rams.
Big play. That was a 3rd and short. And they're not going to get the spot this time. Good penetration that time by the Rams. This is when you want that running game to take off. With the penetration up front, never allowed Herron to get to the line of scrimmage.
First punt of the game for John Ryan, punting from his own 25-yard line. Taken by Sean McDonald. And McDonald will give the Rams terrific field position as he takes it back into Packers territory. 39-yard punt and a 28-yard return by Sean McDonald. Well, John Ryan punted for the first time in this game, and 28-yard return by McDonald sets up terrific field position for the Rams.
It looked like it was his first punt of the game, like he was cold. Wasn't warmed up.
From the Packers 45, Steven Jackson has a first down. Jackson takes it all the way down to the 31 of Green Bay. Lost his helmet as he gained 14.
First big run of the day by Steven Jackson. He's a hard guy to contain for an entire game. Watch this cutback here. Takes it to the right, sees the opening to the left. He's a horse now. I mean, he's 240 pounds. He's a hard guy to bring down one-on-one. Sticks his helmet in the belly of Charles Woodson. Gets the helmet ripped off. As the dreads protected.
Came into this game second in the league in rushing, behind only Willis McGahee. Here's Jackson on 1st and 10. And Jackson inside the 25 down to the 21, has another. Rams first down, gains 11.
You know, I'm looking at these two big runs by Steven Jackson. I'm looking to the front wall of the Rams and the right guard, Adam Timmerman. Every time I do a Ram game, I look down, there's Adam Timmerman's there. I mean, you know, he won a Super Bowl here in Green Bay, a former Packer. You know, goes to St. Louis, and there's been changes throughout that offensive line over the last few years for the Rams, but he's the one guy. Every game you come in, you see a Ram play, Adam Timmerman's at right guard. That's consistent.
Also won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Yep, 2 Super Bowl wins.
From the 21, Bulger to McDonald, who got this drive started with his long punt return.
Yep. Good protection that time by Mark Bulger. Watch Adam Timmerman here inside. Working with the young player, Alex Barron. Good job of sealing that edge there. Look at Bulger, all kinds of time and to see the vision, to see the receiver. Yeah, Adam Timmerman, he brought his wife and kids up here to Lambeau Field this offseason to take a look at the refurbished Lambeau Field. Thought his kids should see that while he's still playing.
Here's Jackson. Did you ever take a vacation up to Green Bay in the offseason?
No, but I was up here this summer, the first day of training camp, and there was vacationers everywhere. I mean, you know, you come to Wisconsin and you got the cheese state. So you got a lot of cheese out there. That's a good thing to have on a vacation. And then you got the Wisconsin Dells. That's a good spot. Eau Claire, and then you know, if you're going to come to Wisconsin on vacation, you have to come to Lambeau Field.
We were told last night there were no available hotel rooms within a 90-mile radius.
No, I mean, this is a Packer weekend. That gift shop downstairs, I mean, Packer memorabilia was flying off the shelf.
First and goal for the Rams. Stephen Davis up the middle. Down to the Packers' 7-yard line as we approach 4 minutes remaining, third quarter. All the scoring in the first half. Rams with a 1-point lead over Mike McCarthy's Packers.
Hey, that Scott Linehan has done a good job of bringing veteran players in. I mean, that's Stephen Davis. That's big country that just ran that ball. I mean, he's the former Carolina Panther and Washington Redskin. A big load at 245 pounds. He's got a few more carries left in him.
And now the former Packer, Tony Fisher, in the backfield. Second and goal from the 7. Bulger already with 2 touchdown passes, can't find anyone. And now the throw out of bounds. He was looking for Fisher, so 3rd and goal coming up for St. Louis.
Bulger trying to just stay alive here. Look at that throw. On the run, still can hit a target. Throwing the ball sidearm like Louis Tiant off the mound. Three receivers to the left.
Bruce, McDonald, and Curtis. 3rd and goal. Bulger looking left. Down he goes. Back at the 12-yard line. Aaron Campbell. Now with 5.5 sacks.
Campbell's just relentless. He almost got him to play before. He comes back, catches his breath, and then just keeps on coming. Working on Alex Barron over on the right side, but able to just get an arm around the legs of Mark Bulger.
So now Jeff Wilkins, who has attempted and made more field goals than any other kicker in the NFL this season, will attempt a 31-yarder. Wilkins now 16 of 19 as the Rams can't reach the end zone this time, but they extend to a 4-point lead.
Practicing in between.
What a day in Green Bay.
I tell you, I mean, this is, I mean, if this is the final good weekend, this is what you want. You want a home game here at Lambeau. It's like an extended summer day. It's been like that all weekend, but the leaves have turned. It's, you know, the front lawns are full. The tailgating was superb today. A little bratwurst at lunch. It really doesn't get any better.
67 degrees at game time as Wilkins sends his kickoff into the end zone, into the arms of Corin Robinson. 3:04 remaining 3rd quarter with the Rams up by 4. Coming up in game 2 of our Fox doubleheader, the #1 offense in the National Football League, the Philadelphia Eagles, coming off their win over Green Bay on Monday night, as they will take on their former teammate Terrell Owens and the Dallas Cowboys.
What kind of reception is T.O. going to get, Kenny? What's your prediction there in Philadelphia? Things coming out of the stands? You know, any?
Well, you talked about the extra security on hand.
That's not going to stop.
From the 15, Favre, the slant intended for Jennings. I would think there are a large number of people in Philadelphia who may actually cheer when Terrell Owens comes out. He did help lead that team to a Super Bowl 2 years ago.
There's no question about that. 14 touchdowns in 14 games. And, you know, interesting thing about T.O. is when he had Steve Young, it was Steve Young's best year. When he had, you know, Jeff Garcia, best year. Donovan McNabb, best year, all with T.O. He makes quarterbacks better.
The pitch to Herron on 2nd and 10. And Noah gaining 3 yards out to the 23, and you go back to the 98 season with Owens as a teammate. Steve Young, a career-high 36 touchdown passes. Same thing in 01 for Garcia, and 2 seasons ago in Philadelphia.
I mean, Steve Young, a Hall of Famer. Jeff Garcia had a stretch of 3 straight Pro Bowl visits. Donovan McNabb, a Pro Bowl season with T.O. Trip to the Super Bowl. Phenomenal effort Super Bowl Sunday, coming off a broken ankle, playing in Jacksonville.
Vernon Morency back in the game for the first time since his 2nd fumble in the 1st quarter.
He's had a lot of time to think about it, hasn't he?
3rd down and 8. Favre. Bubba Franks got a hand on it, but could not make the catch.
That was just a bad series for Brett. Missed a Greg Jennings, a little high on that delivery to Bubba Franks.
John Ryan will punt for the Packers. Dane Walker back deep for the Rams.
Bubba Franks already 6'6". He's already a big target.
Packers go 3 and out for the first time. So Ryan out for his 2nd punt. He hopes it's better than the first one. Flag down, Sean McDonald. is down as well at the 41-yard line.
Going to be a hold on Green Bay's punting unit. Chance to back them up further.
During the kick, holding. 82 of the kicking team. The penalty will assess at the end of the run. First down.
That's on Ruvel Martin. So with just over 2 minutes remaining, third quarter, 5 of the Packers trailing by 4. Rams leading by 4. Coming up on Tuesday, October 31st, Halloween on Fox. The Emmy Award-winning smash hit House returns with an all-new episode. Viewer discretion is advised. House on Halloween night.
Yeah, and in this house here at Lambeau, they're doing the wave. You know, just trying to get the defense a little excited here. Know that you cannot continue to give an offense like the Rams great field position.
And this is the third time they start in Packers territory. From the 49. Bulger with time, complete for a first down and more. Inside the 30, finally taken down at the 27-yard line. Torrey Holt gaining 22.
But you can't, Torrey Holt limping off the field at the end of that play. But the only way you can slow him down. Watch this route here, working on Charles Woodson here. He gets Woodson to slip. Woodson falls down there. Then he breaks the tackle.
Sean McDonald has replaced Torrey Holt. First and 10 from the 27. Here's Jackson. He's had a big third quarter. Gaining 7 down to the 20-yard line as we check in once again with Chris Rose. Chris?
Kenny, back end of our Fox doubleheader. T.O. back in Philly for the first time, and the fans are giving it to him in the pregame. Should be fun. D-Mac is ready. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and Pam Oliver will have the call after the Packers and Rams. Back to Kenny and Baldy.
They're on him in pregame. That pregame workout of T.O.'s like what you would do if you're getting ready for a marathon.
Would you expect anything different?
No.
On 2nd and 3, the end around to Kevin Curtis. And Curtis picks up a first down at the Packers' 14-yard line. Gain of 6 as we take another look at the injury suffered earlier this drive by Torrey Holt.
He comes back on the field here. Yeah, just Nick Barnett there, just wrapping him up there at the end of the play, twisting that foot, rolling him up at the end. You can see the pain on Torrey Holt's face, screaming as that foot's getting twisted, but he's back out there.
Half-minute remaining, third quarter. First and 10 from the 14. Bulger nearly picked off by Al Harris. He has not thrown an interception this season, and as Harris drops it, Bulger actually ties the club record for most consecutive passes without throwing a pick.
The fans had the same reaction that Al Harris had. Al looks at this ball all the way. He grabs his, the fans are doing the same thing, grabbing their helmet and their head. Like, how can you drop that ball?
That's 206 attempts in a row for Bulger without an interception, tying Roman Gabriel's franchise record.
He got a break there.
2nd and 10, Jackson. Ran into his own man, the right tackle Barron, taken down by Aaron Campman after a gain of 6. So the Rams on the move as this third quarter will come to an end. It'll be a 3rd and 4 from the Green Bay 7 when we return as the teams march down to the other end. Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages.
You're watching Fox NFL Sunday.
We start the fourth quarter, Rams leading by 4. And Brian, when you asked Mark Bulger yesterday about not having thrown an interception, he was very quick to knock on the wooden table.
Yeah, don't jinx me. And I tell you, because Al Harris had his hands on one that could have gone the other way, could have turned his game around right away. That's the problem with throwing timing routes. If your receiver isn't where you want it to be, it can be easy picking for the defense.
So a 3rd and 4 from the 8. Rams have to get to the 4 for a first down. First play of the 4th quarter. Bulger looking for Curtis. Throws it out of the end zone.
Well, you know what Mark Bulger was saying to himself there? I'm not going to take a sack. I'm not going to make a bad throw. I'm not going to take a bad play. If it's there, I'm going to throw it right away. If it's not there, I'll throw it away. And that's what he did. Put the field goal team out there. And that's sort of different than what Mike Martz and these Rams used to do. Mark would say, look, he didn't care about bad plays. We'll just make so many good plays, it'll counteract it. Now they're taking care of the football.
26-yard attempt by Wilkins. Jeff Wilkins now 2 for 2. And the second half for the Rams. Lead is 7.
Fox NFL Sunday is sponsored by the all-new 2007 Wrangler, a new species from Jeep. By Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. By Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, it's in the NFL. Is it in you? And by Microsoft. Software for the people-ready business.
A look through the eyes of a Packers fan. You're at Lambeau Field. Packers trailing by 7 following the 26-yard field goal, and that 22-yard catch by Holt, the only way over 20 yards for the Rams today.
I thought the defense has played real well here this afternoon. A good job of controlling an explosive offense in the Rams.
Short kickoff taken by William Henderson. And the former Pro Bowl fullback brings the 32-yard line. What a day on Fox, especially for the fans in St. Louis, as their Cardinals look to close out the NLDS. Game 4 against the Padres. The New York Mets await the winner. Catch it tonight, 8 Eastern on Fox.
Well, all they have to do is get through that Cowboy game, that Cowboy-Eagle game coming up right after this. So really, it's a triple header here today on Fox. I mean, you really don't want to leave.
Cowboys and Eagles coming up next. Morency, the lone back, takes the handoff from Favre. Remember, he fumbled twice in the first quarter. And Vernon gaining 3 yards. Vernon Morency played baseball, drafted by the Colorado Rockies, spent 4 years in their system before heading off to Oklahoma State.
Not many guys make that transition. You know, they go out there and they play baseball first, and things don't work out. They find out they can't hit a Kenny Rogers curveball that he threw to the Yankees on Friday night, and a hole in their swing, and then come back and play some football. Worked out good. Went to Oklahoma State. Was there with Tatum Bell. Plays for Denver now. 2 of them in the backfield together.
Second down and 7. Favre over the middle. Will Witherspoon on the coverage, wrapping up Bubba Franks.
Looking at the left tackle, Chad Clifton, dangling an arm. He doesn't look good after that last play. Trying to get some feeling back in the arm, maybe a little neck stinger.
I assume you know the feeling?
Yeah, you know, you just try to hold your breath to get to the next play. Just keep it all in. Here he is.
Clifton starting his 53rd consecutive game. 3rd down and 7. Packers have to get to the 41. Favre with time. The throw to the outside, incomplete. He was looking for Donald Driver, so the Packers go 3 and out again.
It just hasn't been, Chad trying to get it together coming off, but Brett just hasn't been a real spark here in the second half. Missed a couple of throws, has gotten good protection.
Just 1 completion since halftime.
Yeah, I mean, good first half. You know, he got the ball down the field to Jennings a couple of times in the first half, down the field. Nothing here so far in the second half. Ooh, there's a punt. Oh, wow. Woo.
What a punt by Ryan, 66 yards, tying his career long. Did you know he had the longest punt in the Canadian Football League last season, 80 yards?
No, I don't know how I missed that.
You got to follow the CFL.
I do. I'm going to get that on TiVo.
Back in Green Bay, Kenny Albert, Brian Baldinger. Rams leading by a touchdown. Early fourth quarter, St. Louis starts from their own 20. The handoff to Steven Jackson, who gains 3 out to the 23-yard line.
Steven Jackson, you know, with the semi-retirement of Marshall Faulk. Marshall Faulk not on injury reserve, out there for the season right now, recovering from some knee surgery. I think now Steven Jackson knows in his 3rd year that this is my offense. This is a chance for me to shine. I got a coach that wants to feed me, make sure I get 25 touches a game, and he's just been so productive already this season.
Especially in this second half today, as Bulger calls timeout. And we'll return to Lambeau with the Rams leading by a touchdown after these messages.
I'll tell you want to see some good seats here at Lambeau Field when it's 75 degrees and an extended summer day. Look at these guys out here on lawn chairs out here. I mean, all you need is to make sure that the hot dog man comes through there.
You think they're out there in December?
No, that's what I'm saying. They're not sitting those seats then.
And Bulger's pass is caught out at the 47-yard line. First catch of the game by the rookie tight end Joe Kloffenstein, who gains 24.
Yeah, he was their 2nd-round pick from Colorado, and they really like him here. He has that ability to stretch the defense, get down the seam like he does here. Caught his first touchdown pass last week. Look at that ball just laid right in there. Nice, soft, feathery touch on the ball. Go right into the breadbasket.
Total yards just about even. Rams with the edge in the second half. Here's Jackson on first down into Packers territory. Gain of 4 as we check in once again with the busiest man in television, Chris Rose.
Oh, stop, Kenny. Anyway, you want to know why Rod Marinelli and the Lions are winless? Because they give up 2 touchdowns in 1 minute and 2 seconds. Ben Lieber scooped that one up. The only saving grace for the Lions, they blocked the PAT and still lead by 1 in Minnesota. Back to Kenny and Baldy.
All right, Chris, and the Vikings have won their last 8 over the Lions, but Detroit with a 1-point lead.
Detroit battled the Rams right down to the end last week.
Rams won it on a late Isaac Bruce touchdown. Jackson gaining 2. Down to the 47-yard line with just under 12 minutes remaining. Teams exchange touchdowns in the first quarter. Rams led by 1 at the half, 3 after 3. Catch that Bears-Bills score, by the way. 39-0 Chicago.
Bears have given up 1 touchdown now in 5 football games. That defense is ferocious.
Bears added the extra point, so it's now 40-0.
40-0 against an improved Bills team.
Coached by former Chicago head coach Dick Duran. 3rd down and 4. Rams have to get to the 43. Complete to Fisher. And Fisher, the former Packer, picks up a first down and more. Down the sidelines. High-stepping it. And he finally stepped out of bounds at the Green Bay 9. Tony Fisher takes it 39 yards downfield.
You know, you talk about T.O. coming back against the Eagles this year. Any player that goes up against their former team, it's a revenge game. Tony Fisher gets his hands on this key 3rd down here. I mean, that's 3 defenders that he just juked out. He had Patrick Dendy over there, Nick Barnett. He froze him, and he took the sideline route. They should have had him out of bounds back 30 yards before that.
Spent the first 4 years of his career right here in Green Bay.
It's a good 3rd down back here.
And on first down, this is Jackson. Jackson turns the corner. He dives and is ruled out at the 1.
I mean, Steven Jackson right here has a nose for the end zone, trying to get in there. Knows that all he has to do is get that ball on the inside of that pylon, over the pylon, and it's a touchdown. Got to be careful when you stick that ball out there like that with one hand hanging on to it. You knock that ball loose and it goes through the end zone, it could be a touchback going the other way.
2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. Hitchcock and Jackson in the backfield. This is Jackson. And he's stopped at the 1.
Well, this is a big decision here for Scott Linehan. You know, I mean, they've been shut out the last 2 times inside the red zone, had to settle for field goals. 3rd down and 1 here. Do you give it to the big back? Torrey Holt told us that the next step of improvement in this offense is to get Steven Jackson running better on the goal line. And to run better, he has to run lower.
2 tight ends in the game for the Rams. Aaron Walker in motion. On 3rd and goal, off the fake to Jackson. Bulger is brought down back at the 2. He hesitated and was tackled by the combination of A.J. Hawk and Marquand Manuel.
There was no pass option to that play there. There was nobody in a route. That was a run all the way. Nice job by A.J. Hawk really being disciplined here. Bootleg, a keeper. There's nobody to throw the football to there. Mark Bulger is not a running quarterback.
So Jeff Wilkins out to attempt a 20-yard field goal. Dane Looker is the holder. Wilkins now 3 for 3 today. Field goals on each of the last 3 Rams possessions, and St. Louis now leads Green Bay by 10. The Rams lead is now 10 following Wilkins' 3rd field goal of this second half.
Packers need a play. Packers need a big play. The crowd is sitting on their hands right now. Need something from Corn Robinson here in the return game.
There's Robinson from the 18. Up the middle, across the 35, an 18-yard return. So Brett Favre and the Packers trailing by 10 with just over 9 minutes remaining will go to work from their own 36.
You know, I think the big difference in this game right now is the Rams are taking care of the football. They came in today leading the league in turnover ratio. They're a positive 10 in 4 games and haven't turned it over. Now, they're not getting touchdowns. They're settling for field goals, but they're not doing anything stupid with the football. They're not making any sort of mistakes and giving Brett Favre and this team a short field or another opportunity.
Noah Herron in the backfield. Favre to Herron. And he's brought down at the 42-yard line after a gain of 6. You saw the note on Favre's career 4th quarter comebacks. It has been a relatively quiet game for Favre, and he talked about the quiet crowd here at Lambeau. Packers 0-2 at home this season.
This is what the Green Bay's doing to jumpstart this offense, going no huddle here, a hurry-up mode.
Second down and 4. Favre pump fakes, now throws, and it's caught by Jennings. But he was met immediately by Pisa Tinoi Samoa. And Jennings gains just 1. A reminder coming up, the Eagles and the Cowboys. Brett Favre spent over an hour on Tuesday night chatting with Eagles head coach Andy Reid the day after the loss in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think first of all, Andy and Brett still talk a lot. Brett was injured at the end of that game. I think he wanted to make sure that he felt okay.
Now 3rd down and 3. 3 wide receivers set. Packers have to get to the 46. And they do. The catch is made by Herron. And he's tackled by Corey Chavis at the 49-yard line. So the Packers move the chains as we approach the midway point of this 4th quarter.
See, down 10 points here. They've almost abandoned the running game. I mean, 3 straight throws right now in a shotgun, a passing formation.
On 1st down from the 49. Caught by Driver in Rams territory. You saw that note a moment ago. Favre 46-0 here at Lambeau, and he has not thrown an interception. Rams without a pick today, yet the Packers trail by 10.
So one of the reasons why you kind of do this mush huddle here is you want to try to limit the Rams from substituting defensive linemen, other personnel to match up right now with a 3 wide receiver look.
2nd down and 5. Favre's pass is caught by Jennings. Touchdown. 1
Oh, no, that's what they needed. They needed that big play. And that's 5 straight completions for Favre on that drive. 4 little short ones. Short, 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 and then big, up over the top. Kind of lulled him to sleep. Got the matchup he wanted. This kid, Greg Jennings, is going to be around for a long time.
Led the nation in receptions per game last season at Western Michigan. He was the 4th wide receiver selected in the draft. And Jennings scores his 3rd touchdown of the season, and the Packers have pulled to within 3.
Nothing fancy about the route from Greg Jennings. Just a straight streak route on the outside. Working on a rookie, Ty Hill, the #1 draft pick. Did a good job of using his body, kind of bumping him a little bit with the elbow, getting a little separation. Brett Favre threw a perfect throw. That thing was on the line. Looked left, came back right. That's pretty. Greg Jennings said that all he wanted to do when he was drafted and came to the Green Bay Packers, he wanted to make the team and just find a way to fit in. Well, when you're catching touchdown passes like that and doing Lambeau leaps, you're fitting in with a whole group of people. In fact, he's got to work on that leap. The fans are holding him up there.
Jennings on the receiving end of career touchdown pass number 403 by Favre. He also caught number 400. Only Dan Marino has thrown more. And now Mark Bulger will try and extend the lead for the Rams. And Mark Bulger went to the same high school as Dan Marino.
Yeah, Central Catholic in downtown Pittsburgh. Yeah, he's got the crowd up on its feet and going now.
Jennings with 4 catches today for 96 yards.
I like Greg Jennings. And we had a chance to sit and talk to him. Very articulate young man. Very intelligent, very good football awareness around him. And he said he's been learning from Brett Favre and Donald Driver every day. Always learns from him.
He told us he thanked Driver this week. He told him how much he appreciates all the help. J.R. Reed coming out of the end zone. And Reed is stopped just shy of the 20. With 6.5 remaining, a 23-yard return. Well, Thursday, November 2nd on Fox, Brad Garrett is back with an all-new episode of Till Death. That's Thursday, November 2nd, only on Fox. Well, this crowd was quiet throughout the 3rd quarter, early portion of the 4th, but they are into it now as the Packers have pulled to within 3. Rams have kicked field goals on their last 3 possessions, but this Packers defense has kept them out of the end zone in the second half, and flags prior to the snap.
Yeah. Alex Barron losing his composure down there in the field with this crowd. Jumping off sides.
False start. Offense number 70. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
They just dialed up the intensity of the noise in the stadium. And believe me, if you're a defensive player down there, you can feel the intensity in the crowd behind you. You're waving them on. The louder you get, the harder it makes you play.
The entire crowd, 70,000 on their feet. First down and 15. Bulger quiets the crowd again. First down out of the 35-yard line. 20-yard pickup by Sean McDonald.
Well, I tell you, that Mark Bulger has ice water in his veins. Nick Collins down at the moment. Throwing it to Sean McDonald, the 4th wide receiver in this never-ending list of good receivers. Here's Sean McDonald here. Working on Nick Collins, the safety, little out move there. Nice move. All these guys run good routes.
Will be arrested in accordance with the city ordinance. Green Bay Packers, thank you for your help.
Look at Mark Bulger here, step up. He's just thrown it to a spot. Look at that. Look at the advance. Leading Sean McDonald on there to where he's going to be. A lot of quarterbacks are afraid to do that.
You want the Green Bay Packers and American Family Insurance, supporting healthy heart causes by wearing your patches.
Mark Bulger seems so comfortable in this offense. You told us last year I had to study for 90 minutes just to learn how to say the plays.
Oh, yeah, Nick Collins takes a shot right from the knee of his teammate, Marquand Manuel there. Been a lot of concussions in this league this year. Brett Favre, part concussion last week. Neck stinger on a hit late in that game. Orlando Pace was out with a concussion last week.
Collins remains down, the second-round draft pick a year ago. Started every game as a rookie.
That's a good sign. This is not a deep secondary to begin with. They dressed Patrick Dendy today and Jarrett Bush for the first time this season. They released Ahmad Carroll, former #1 pick 2 weeks ago. Will Blackman, a guy they were counting on, still has yet to get healthy from a foot injury. Jarrett Bush, Patrick Dendy.
Tyrone Culver also in. There's Culver.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Rookie 6th-round pick out of Fresno State to replace Nick Collins.
How many rookies on this team right now, Kevin? Is it 13?
As you said, you need a depth chart.
Yeah, you got to study these guys.
These are not your brother's Green Bay Packers.
No. No, things have changed. Nick Collins, just a second-year player. Good player.
1st and 10 following the completion to McDonald. Penalty markers. Free play for Bulger. And the catch is made by Steven Jackson. Hurdles into Green Bay territory and is forced out of bounds at the Packers 47 after a 17-yard pickup.
Twelve men on the field. Defense. Penalties declined. Play results in a first down.
Well, that's disappointing for Mike McCarthy, because last week on 2 different plays on Monday night against the Eagles, they only had 10 defensive players on the field, and the Eagles exploited it. Now they had 12 players on after a long stoppage. Just trying to get the right personnel on the field right now, and enough personnel has been a challenge. Bob Sanders, the defensive coordinator.
From the 47. Stephen Davis followed up by Brady Papinga and Aaron Campbell. Carolina leading Cleveland late. New England over Miami. As we check out other scores, Giants about to win their 2nd game of the season. Tampa Bay and Bruce Gradkowski's first start, leading New Orleans by 4. And the Vikings have taken a 9-point lead. They trailed that game by 1. Now leading the Lions by 9. Bulger on 2nd down, complete to Kevin Curtis. And Curtis tackled about a yard shy of the marker.
Yeah, I think we're finding out an awful lot more about the Rams and Mark Bulger. I mean, you know, the crowd was into it. Favre throws a great touchdown pass to Greg Jennings. They get back in the game, and on the road at Lambeau Field, loud place. Mark Bulger has come out on this drive and has executed perfectly. Throwing the ball, check down to the backs, got the ball down the field to his wide receiver, taking care of the football. It's impressive.
3rd down and 2. The toss to Jackson. And Charles Woodson runs him down, forces him out of bounds. Back at the 41, a huge play by the 9-year veteran who came over from the Oakland Raiders, Charles Woodson.
You know, the Packers win twice on that play. They win one because they stopped the 3rd down, and then the fact that they go to a gimmick play like that, that's the play that they used to run with Marshall Faulk when they had the greatest show on turf. It's called the Flip 90. They go to a gimmick play to try to beat the Packers here on a key 3rd down. Packers got to feel good about them.
And now Woodson stays on the field to return this punt. Turk punting into the end zone. So the Green Bay Packers, who trail by 3, will start from their own 20. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Rams took advantage of an early Packers turnover. Torrey Holt reaching the end zone. Then Noah Herron ties the game. Bulger to Kevin Curtis in the second quarter. And then Brett Favre, the 46-yard completion to Greg Jennings. Earlier in the fourth, pulling the Packers to within 3. The 403rd touchdown pass of Brett Favre's illustrious career. Looking to make it 36 career fourth quarter and overtime comebacks. They start from the 20. Setting up the screen. This is Herron. But he's tackled at the line of scrimmage. No gain. 2nd and 10 upcoming.
Well, you know, Brett was telling us this week that, you know, they're a team that's searching for an identity, and he said we got to play almost a perfect game to compete right now. We're a team in transition. I'm the glue, and the glue right now gets 4 minutes to work this field. Chance to make a play. I mean, the fans have seen this an awful lot. Brett's working with a new cast. He wants to make it the same story.
Packers drove 80 yards for their first touchdown today. 5, incomplete. Intended for Corin Robinson.
You just wonder there, you know, Corin Robinson was a pickup here a couple of weeks ago. They probably haven't had a lot of time to work on the chemistry here, the timing on this route. Where Corin's going to be. Brett's throwing it to that hole between the corner and the safety. Puts it right there. Puts it right where he had to make that throw. He obviously missed a chance for a big play. He knows it too. His head is still down.
Now 3rd and 10. Packers have to get to the 30. Favre firing incomplete. He was looking for Jennings.
Had him too. He had good protection that time.
So now it will be up to the Packers defense with 3:19 on the clock.
They need one of those 66-yard punts from John Ryan right now.
Hunting from his own 10. This is Dane Looker on the return. And Looker goes down at the 36. 3 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in Green Bay. Coming up, game 2 of our Fox doubleheader.
Got a brand new team. I'm a cowboy now. No more black and green. And to the hater who said I wouldn't get my money, I'm laughing in your face. Haha, that's funny. When it comes to this game, I'm the best in the field. Some said I was gonna sign just a one-year deal. But I got what I wanted up front. 10 meals, change the rules of the game. So now how you feel?
Now, Kenny, I know you're an expert in rap music. Is that some rap music from Terrell Owens that you would purchase? Put in your iPod?
My iPod is filled with all the latest in rap.
Okay. It's a bad rap right there.
What do you think I do all week?
Of course. iPod, I download it.
Here's Steven Jackson on 1st and 10 from the 36. Gains 4 out to the 40-yard line.
Packers use a timeout here to stop the clock.
They have 1 remaining with 3:02 on the clock.
Steven Jackson with 23 carries today. You wonder here in this fourth quarter, has he worn down this defense enough? Because they're going to run him again on 2nd down. Make the Packers burn their last timeout.
Each team with 1 remaining. Cowboys and Eagles coming up. And then the OT presented by Lowe's. With Joe and the gang in Philadelphia. Kurt Menefee, Terry Bradshaw, Howie Long, Jimmy Johnson. And then Chris Carpenter and Woody Williams, the pitching matchup. Game 4 of the National League Division Series.
Great time of the year for a sports fan.
2nd and 7. And Bulger's pass broken up by Nick Collins, who was injured during the last Rams possession, but a terrific play there. Breaking up the pass intended for Sean McDonald.
Great coverage by Nick Collins here. Here he is on the outside picking up Sean McDonald. Does a good job. He never even looks for the ball. He just put his arm up when Sean McDonald's hands went up to catch the ball. And I'm surprised they threw the ball on that 2nd down, because Right now, Green Bay did not have to burn a timeout to stop the clock. Stopped on the incompletion.
3rd down and 7. Rams have to get to the 46. Bulger, and it's broken up, intended for Isaac Bruce. Charles Woodson got a piece of it and thought he should have had the interception.
Well, at the end of this day, Mark Bulger may go another game without an interception, but the Green Bay Packers here, between Al Harris and Charles Woodson, they've both had their hands on easy interceptions and not come down with it.
The Rams have committed only 3 turnovers all season. This is game number 5, and they have not turned the ball over today.
The coverage has been very good here by this secondary today of the Packers.
Turk punting to Woodson. Woodson lets it go, and it bounces out of bounds at the 20. So the same situation as a couple of minutes ago. Packers will start at the 20, but less time remaining on the clock.
Listen to this, Ken. I mean, last time Favre walked out, there was 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go on the clock. So in 1 minute and 17 seconds, both teams have had a possession. That was a bad job by the Rams of taking time off the clock. You've given Favre plenty of time here. And a timeout left and a 2-minute warning to work this field.
Aaron in the backfield. Robinson split to the right. Jennings to the left. Driver in the slot. Packers trailing by 3. From the 21 on 1st down. Favre over the middle and a flag. Pass intended for the tight end, David Martin. It's against the Rams.
Yeah, against Will Witherspoon, the middle linebacker.
Pass interference. Defense number 51. Penalized at the spot of the foul and a 1st down.
Attacking Witherspoon here. Running David Martin down the field. Tell you what, I don't know. I mean, I don't really agree with that call.
25-yard penalty.
Witherspoon just turned into David Martin. That's all he did.
From the 46. Favre steps up and fires, and it's nearly picked off by O.J. Atogwe.
The guy that he's had success with down the field today is Greg Jennings. Now, in these last 2 possessions here, he hasn't thrown the ball to him yet. Gordon Robinson wasn't even looking for that football.
Now 2nd and 10. 2:35 on the clock. Three wide receivers. Inside handoff to Herron. Into Rams territory, dragged down at the 48. So a 3rd down and 4 coming up for Green Bay.
Well, the Packers do not, I mean, they have to convert this 3rd down here, but this is a 2-down territory. So you don't have to be super aggressive. You got a 2-minute stoppage at the 2-minute warning, you get a timeout. Plenty of time here. You don't have to force anything in this situation. Safeties are playing real deep. They're not even in the picture here. A lot of room in the middle of the field to work.
David Martin. And this will depend on the spot.
Another one of these really close calls here.
1st down Packers as we hit the 2-minute warning. Jim Haslett can't believe it. He thinks the Packers received a generous spot. 1:56 remaining. One more look. There's Martin. Rams by 3. But Brett Favre in the offense for the 1st down from the Rams 41. Each team with 1 timeout remaining.
Go!
Favre's pass is dropped by Jennings.
Wow. That's the guy that keeps getting open here, and he's looking at his hands like there's a hole in his glove. That was just a drop. Brett put it right where he needed to put it. but constantly Jennings keeps getting open.
From the 44.
And sometimes quarterbacks, they just have a natural chemistry with the receiver. And it's been like that really from the very beginning. From training camp on, these two guys have had a good chemistry.
2nd and 10 from the 44. The slant to Driver. And Donald Driver takes it down to the 36-yard line.
Well, Mike McCarthy told us that the range for Dave Rayner is when they get to the 37-yard line. They just went inside that. Last week he kicked a 54-yarder against the Eagles.
And he would also be kicking with the wind. We have seen numerous kickoffs going in that direction, sail into the end zone.
Never hurts to have a little tailwind behind you.
3rd down and 2. Down to 1:10 remaining. Favre rolling to his right, throws, and he finds his man Robinson. Stops the clock. 1st down Packers at the St. Louis 28.
Good play. Really good play. Roll out, seal the edge so that Brett has good protection. Just run a stop route. Run the inside receiver deep, take the safety, and then just the other receiver, Corn Robinson, just run a stop on the sideline. Get out of bounds and stop the clock.
First and 10 from the 28. Herron inside the 20.
Brett looks like he's been through this drill before.
Noah Herron goes over the 100-yard mark for the afternoon. His first career 100-yard game. As the Packers use their final timeout, they stop the clock with 1 minute remaining in regulation.
Brett here directing traffic at the line of scrimmage, calling each individual play and route. I tell you, Noah Herron, I mean, here's a guy that wasn't really scheduled to get many carries today. I mean, it was the fumbles, 2 first-quarter fumbles by Vernon Morency that allowed him to get on the field. And boy, has he made hay with the opportunity he's gotten.
Herron scored the Packers' first touchdown. Remember, the Eagles and the Cowboys are coming up next. Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. Mike McCarthy, a former toll collector on the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Is that right? He traded that job in for a better one, didn't he?
Second down and 2. Favre pump fakes, now throws, and the catch is made down at the 11-yard line by Jennings.
No need to rush here. They can call this play at the line of scrimmage. They don't even have to kill it. They can run a play here.
Favre elects to stop the clock. Packers are out of timeouts, but they are in field goal range for Rayner. 2 chances to get into the end zone.
Yep. So obviously you think touchdown first, you think win. But then you don't do it at any expense of the field goal with a chance to tie and go into overtime. But Brett has been through this drill so many times. He said this week that he's the glue, and he's been the glue out here today.
Jennings now over 100 yards for the second time this season. Jennings in motion. Favre on 2nd and 10. Favre in trouble.
Knocked out.
Ball is loose. It's still loose. And it looks like the Rams have it. Demetrius Butler falls on it at the 13. The Packers in field goal range already on 2nd down. Favre lost the football, and the Rams have recovered.
Rarely do you ever get the ball knocked out of Brett Favre's hands. They're so big and strong to begin with. He was stepping up to throw that football, and it just got swiped. And then Darren College had a chance to fall on it. That's Leonard Little just knocking it right out of his hands. The Rams, again, win the turnover battle, the second turnover of the day.
Packers turned it over on their first possession and their last.
Did everything right on that drive with a chance to win it. And that's a heartbreaking loss. Heartbreaking with a chance to win it right at the end.
Packers stopped the clock on the previous play. They had time, second down. They were in field goal range, down by 3. And Favre had the ball knocked away. Recovered by Jeremetrius Butler, who had not played in any of the first 4 games this season. Rams. And the Rams win the turnover battle again, as you mentioned, +2. And they go to 4-1, while the Packers drop to 1-4. For Brian Baldinger, this is Kenny Albert. So long from Green Bay. Coming up after these messages, the Eagles and the Cowboys. So long from Lambeau.